Title: Who Gets the One? Moondrop, X, Sundrop, X, Listener. The lights in the daycare were still half dimmed. That soft amber glow that meant Moon hadn't handed shift over fully. You sat on the edge of the ball pit, legs dangling, watching the two of them circle each other like they always did, when something small had turned into, well, something sharp. Sun's hands were clamped tightly behind his back, little bells on his wrist and jingle. That was how you knew he was actually upset. I was the one who stayed up with them last night, he said, voice bright but chipped. When they couldn't sleep, I sang the counting song twice. Moon stood a few feet away, arms folded, the soft fabric of his nightcap shadowing one eye. He didn't raise his voice. He, never really needed to. You sang because you wanted to. I cleaned the glitter they tracked through the whole play structure, every single piece, while you were still humming. Sun's rays twitched. That's not the point. It is exactly the point. You stayed quiet. You learned early that interrupting them when they got like this only made the argument stretch longer. Instead, you watched the way Sun's foot kept tapping against the padded floor, how Moon's shoulder stayed rigid even though his posture looked almost lazy. Sun turned towards you suddenly, rays flaring a little wider. Tell him you said that you wanted to paint with me this afternoon. Bright colors outside, under the big window where Sun usually reaches. Moon's head tilted. The soft red of his eyes didn't leave your face. They also said that the noise of the other children was too much today, that they wanted somewhere quiet, somewhere dark. You rubbed the edge of your sleeves between your fingers. The fabric was worn, soft there from habit. Sun's voice dropped, still cheerful but thinner. I can be quiet. Moon made a small sound that may have been a laugh if it had any warmth. You cannot. I can try. You try for 3 minutes, and then the bells start spinning, and the friend, look at that. Moon's voice stayed even. They don't need more noise. They need rest. Sun's hands came out finally from behind his back. He gestured once, sharp towards the nap mat stacked neatly against the far wall. Rest is your job. Play is my job. They asked for both. He felt the weight of both their stares. It was familiar by now. The way they turned every small preference into a claim. Who got to sit closer? Who got to braid ribbons into your hair? Who got to walk you to the security office when the night shift started? Moon took one slow step closer to the ball pit. The soft padding of his feet made almost no sound. They are tired, he said quieter. Look at their eyes. Sun's ray dripped affection. He looked at you the way he always did. A little open, almost uncertain. You exhaled through your nose and swung your legs once and twice. I just wanted to sit for a bit, he said. Not pick a side. The silence that followed was thicker than the usual daycare quiet. Sun's bells gave one tiny, involuntarily jingle. Moon's fingers flexed against his own arms. Sun was the first to move. He sat down on the other side, careful to not let the rays brush your shoulder too hard. The warmth was steady, familiar. Moon stayed standing a moment longer, then lowered himself to the floor on your other side, knees drawn up, nightcap slipping a little bit. His presence was cooler, heavier, like the room itself had decided to lean in. Neither of them spoke for a while. Sun's hands on the edge of the ball pit wall rested there, close enough that his fingers almost touched yours. Moon's shoulder shifted, but he didn't pull away. Outside the big windows, the Rio sun was starting to drop. The paintings and the plastic play structure and the long orange lines inside. The two of them sat with you in the middle, still not quite finished arguing, but quieter about it now. Sun even muttered under his breath, "I can paint quietly," Moon answered without looking at him. "You can try." You let your head tip sideways until it rested against Moon's arm, and then felt Sun's hand carefully cover yours, the plastic rim. Neither of them moved again for a long time. The argument wasn't over. It never really was. But for now, the daycare held the three of you in the soft amber light. Neither of them seemed particularly inclined to leave.